A new risk to consider this year when reopening Rhode Island schools. And the fix is more complicated than wearing a mask or even sanitizing surfaces.
It's in the air that students and teachers will be breathing. Could it put their health in jeopardy? NBC 10's Tamara Sakarsik did the research.
Well, COVID-19 is airborne, right? So you can easily catch it by breathing in the virus's particles. While buildings like hospitals have filters designed to remove these particles from the air, the standard school does not.
I'm going to make the biggest decision I've ever made in my life.
It's a decision Coventry Superintendent Craig Levis never thought he'd have to make, whether to reopen antiquated school buildings in the middle of a global pandemic.
Do you think your school system has enough ventilation for kids to safely return?
So that's a great question. I'm very concerned about air quality and ventilation. We have many classroom spaces that, as they are right now, we should not be putting kids in those.
That's because many Rhode Island classrooms don't meet CDC guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Filtration, dilution, disinfection.
Raj Sethi is on an engineering epidemic task force that helped write CDC guidelines for reopening buildings amid the coronavirus. Recommendations include increasing circulation of outdoor air, installing fans, and upgrading ventilation and filtration systems.
We do want the air to see a filter get diluted or get disinfected every 10 minutes, 6 air changes.
But for the state's antiquated schools, that may be easier said than done. Filters in most commercial buildings have a minimum efficiency reporting value, or MERV, of 5 to 12. Capturing airborne viruses requires MERV 13.
We do this in our hospital designs. They're called HEPA filter, right? There's a reason that a hospital doesn't infect the entire building. So we use heavy filters there, a lot of fresh air. So we're applying that hospital tech in limited fashion to classrooms.
But the older the HVAC system, the less likely it'll be able to accommodate the filters needed to get rid of coronavirus particles, something Levis didn't even consider until the state brought in an infectious disease specialist 2 weeks ago to talk to schools about preventing the virus from spreading in the air.
Can we get, 500 box fans? Can we get those MERV 13 filters? Plus, those filters are going to tax our HVAC systems. We're getting an HVAC people to come in, experts to come in and look at our systems to see would they survive if we can get those.
The fact that you just got this information weeks before the state has to make a decision or the districts have to make a decision, should we have been preparing for this back in March when we first dismissed schools, or even last month in July?
I think we have been preparing. In fairness to everybody, I guess people could say we should have been better prepared years ago.
Now districts are scrambling for solutions as they try to strike a balance between education, safety, and expensive upgrades.
It can be done. We just have to start taking the baby steps to there. And yes, it will cost money. Yes, we have antiquated systems. So there's no right answer. It is all compromise.
So the question is, can districts realistically do this before school starts next month? I'll explore that part of the story on NBC 10 at 6. Tamara Sakarsik, NBC 10 News.